After I several times had read numbers of pieces, posted to several internet groups or communities. This story begins. I tried to make an analysis, and thereby using all what one had written. Problem solving was the task I gave myself. How? I thought through logic. Using common sense. I knew it wouldn't be an easy one. I was prepared for almost everything. But I wasn't prepared for the final outcome. Imagine this. A big room, filled with more than 1,000 paper sheets. So I start picking up all the sheets in the room. After some time, the room is clean, and I now have a big stack of paper sheets. I step towards the middle of the room. I sit down in the middle and place the pile of paper sheets in front of me. And, from that moment on, slowly all came clear. But, you must know, that there were 10 questions. I first had to order them, on each question. Phase 2 started. I sit down on the floor, in the middle of the room. After some time, I finished, and ended up with 10 stacks in front of me. Phase 3. Now the fun part starts. I have to read all those papers, one stack after the other, thousands of sheets, filled with words that hold the secret. And that secret gives the key to all of the questions. The keys are the answers. And understand that those answers, in fact solutions are. In logic, questions need answers, and answers form solutions. Everybody knows that we live in a world that is in need of solutions. One does not have to be blind to see nothing. The person who dares to say that we live on a healthy and safe planet is a liar. You can visualize it with those paper sheets. What was, or is, or can happen, or now is happening, even already happened. The end result is simple and logic. Again the room. Imagine what is happening. I continue my quest. I read all the sheets, compared them with each other, and placed them in order specified to each point that was given by the people who gave their opinions. None of the people could give an answer. You may think, what were the questions? 10 questions in total. You may think, those questions must have been very complex and difficult. But first you must know what happened with those paper sheets. At the end the room was again filled with the same sheets. It was exactly the same as from the moment I started. The gigantic mess. The questions were these. Number 1. How to solve the problems caused by communication. Number 2. We live in a world with multiple religions. Are they related to each other? Number 3. If we talk about human rights, what does human rights mean for you? Number 4. Are all people on this planet equal? Number 5. Living in a one-world situation. Is it possible? No countries. No borders. Number 6. Does your government make decisions with logic, sense, human reason, tangible evidence and true belief? Number 7. World situations. Are you angry/disappointed? And why are you? Number 8. When people talk about change, people are satisfied about. Number 9. If you could change 3 things in this world, everything is possible. What would you change, and why would you change it? Number 10. Can you understand the reason or need for this survey? What is the course, and what is the effect? Who can we blame for this fiasco, this oncoming abortion and decay of humanity? I personally would start with a question. And it's not even the question that would lead you to the guilty one. Recognition of the situation and acceptation of the truth are the only things that can give us a positive result. and you can ask yourself, is it fact or is it fiction? It is impossible not seeing the real world around you. I share course I care. Love, respect and freedom for all of humanity. And I live under the one rule law. I will defend myself and others who live by the rule. No multiple ruling for us. We are one. Our rule is, there are no rules. Don't expect me. I am already here. I share course I care. Knowledge is sharing. Every question has an answer. Your right is your life. One lifetime guarantee. Death will show it to you, only one time. History shows you what more than one ruling force causes. Don't fear me, cause I enjoy life. The biggest problem's easy to solve. Transformation complete. About, for example, the interpretation of socialism, its occurrence, history and also the result. The socialist thinking can't not be compared to any other single form of organization. I very quickly came to the conclusion that the problems which arise from its implementation, and also in the socialist thinking itself. The first problems came around when I looked in the basis of socialism. It really would be unthinkable what would happen if this social thinking purely would be executed in a socialist environment, and free from other course, which we all know of, and not signposted by any form of government or organization. For example, you can't take capitalism or communism as a counterpart. But that same unthinkable wonder would be the outcome for every single type of executive regulation. Do you understand, and can you explain the term organized chaos? Conformatic is also an unknown concept to the most people. And the same goes for the term diversionomic. Although everybody 24/7, 365 days a year, is confronted with it. The combination of both in a system is the fuse or ignition for such organized chaos. It is the diversity that is the cause of the failure of any form of organization or regulator. We know them in different shapes: capitalism, communism, dictatorship, monarchy, and of course socialism itself, and there are even more types of executive regulators. Once there are simultaneously multiple forms of governance who are vying for power. It is like the fight, in which all parties lose, simply by the impending damage they all suffer. For example, individualism, which is a form by means of equality by diversity. Diversity also deals with distribution of tasks and obligations. But, the day mankind arise, a struggle between the individuals arise. What we meanwhile have created is the basis of the now relevant leading power. In history we see that changes take place by system shift. Transitions like monarchy to dictatorship, socialism to communism, oppression to slavery, slavery to freedom. We are in constant change, by means of content and change by leaders. Fear and the loss of freedom are the cause of almost all of the conflicts. It is good to look at the past, and it is good to learn of an error. But in base is damage the only constant factor. Damage leads to malfunction, and malfunction leads to even more damage. If we look around us, we see a constant battle between the exchange of goods, and with purpose to harvest the most. Greater than behavior is informed mentality, and with our human behavior one quickly would come to his conclusion that a total destruction of everything around us, the logical consequence will be. It makes no sense to nurse the wounds if one is loaded in a fight. Course nursing is a derivation of the moment. Words now hear to be in a way that are not be to understand. Many hear what the context is, but don't understand the meaning of the content. What is the purpose? That's the question. The survival of humanity. What responsibility one has. and relative to whom. Through the years, we lost sight of the basics, and so polluted and damaged our society. We have created a world with ever greater differences. We are driven by selfishness, driven by power, driven by control, and by our fears, resulting that it is now slowly driving us into the abyss. A frequently asked question is, what if, what if, what if there is not the answer? The difference between all imaginable shapes there are in fact, all of the answers. Diversity is the difference, and the difference is the individual. It's the awareness of the situation in which we now all are, and it is a bitter reality in which we now find ourselves. For many of us, the need to survive is already disappeared. We are looking for answers to questions that we don't even know. How is it possible to wage war and state it is for the sake of peace? What is peace when it is obtained through or by violence? And what is a religion without a God?